Alright, so this is a level that I made for an exterior level design assignment. And the first thing you notice right away when you start is that you can see off to the right side a village. So we're going to go explore that for a bit. But the closer we get, the more we realize there's a giant fucking cliff in the way. So basically what I was going for here is this is supposed to be a JRPG or RPG style level. Um, Very similar to the Calm Lands from Final Fantasy X. And so a lot of this would be, this repetitive tasks would be broken up with NPC encounters, combat, things of that nature. But for now, I'm just going to play through the level straight. So the more we walk over here, um, level stuff, things, the more we walk over here, the more we realize that there's a break in the cliff face. And so we are going to explore that break a little bit further. And as we explore that break, we notice a distinct change in elevation. And it's safe to say that this path will eventually carry us into the base of the cliff. And again, a lot of this is going to be broken up with combat and things like that. And when I was designing this, I wanted to give the player the impression that they were really small and really minuscule, but I also wanted to have a ton of foreshadowing as to what's going to come later. So, here we can see that a little bit as we come around the bend here. We could see the river and the waterfall and stuff. So there it is, little waterfall. And that obviously will be come into play later. And so here's another example of that. As we come out here, we can start to see a little bit of a village, and we can see some rocks and stuff. There it clearly comes into view. So I wanted the player to feel small and minuscule, but I also wanted them to get a sense of accomplishment as they go through the level further and realize how far they've come and see where they'll eventually be. And a lot of what I'm saying is just filler right now. So silences are awkward. Oh god. Just had some crazy lag that frightened me quite a bit. Was not expecting it. Got some insightful commentary here. Dude's clearly great at following the bridge. So here's what I was kind of thinking when I said the foreshadowing. So as you come around that bend, it forces the player to look at that waterfall and forces the player to look at that area. And that happens a couple other times later on in the level that I'll point out. And so that's designed to pique the player's interest without directly, showing them what's out there. So, when the player gets down to the base of the canyon here, they can either decide whether they want to go explore that area further or whether they want to just progress with the story. Obviously, when there's NPC interactions, story will be very, very clear and very, very evident. And as with any good RPG or JRPG, there's little nooks and crannies and alcoves like this one, so you could hide something here or put something there. I should more say, because that wouldn't be that great of a hiding spot. It's pretty fucking obvious. These conveniently placed rocks prevent the player from progressing any further, but if the player wanted to attempt, here'd be a little alcove that would be probably better hidden than that last one we showed you, so you could put an item or a weapon or something of that nature here. And then obviously down here there'd be a lot of NPC interactions and things like that. So the player could explore this canyon further, they could grind some more, they could go off and see that waterfall. Or they could progress through the level, which I'm going to do, because that's the smart, right thing to do. And so this is pretty similar, you know, it's what we just did, only it's the other opposite end. And so this is designed to, one, you know, give the player a sense of, or fuck, where am I going with this? Let me start that one over. It's a lot of repetition here, but again, it's to give the player plenty of opportunities to grind. They would get 1 or 2 levels out of this just from walking up. With these wonky jump animations, in the final ship, a lot of that would be supplemented with ledge grabs, where, you know, the character would throw his 2 hands above him, grab the corners of the ledge, or the edge of the ledge, and then pull himself up so that it doesn't look so, you know, messed up. And it's going to get pretty egregiously bad through this part, but in the final ship, that would be, there's that lag again, in the final ship that wouldn't be so messed up. Yeah, it gets really bad through here, so let's just yeah, and all that would not look that bad. It would, I'm using the base character, and so there would be ledge grabs to make that look a lot more authentic. This is kind of what I was talking about with the giving the player the sense of what they've accomplished. So obviously just in walking through here, you get to see all of this left side that you've already traversed, so you get an idea of just how far you've come from starting the level. And obviously you'll probably have a few more levels and a few more skills at this point, so from a grinding standpoint, you'll get that feeling as well. And then a similar thing is going to happen through here, where after we get past these little ledges, you come out through here, and the level's designed in a way that it forces the player to look out into right at that tree, which is actually where the whole level started. So that'll give that sense of accomplishment as well, because you get to see literally where you came from and how far you've progressed. And as we start to level out here, the vegetation increases, gets more intense, and then we pop out on the other side, and then this part of the level is a lot of what we saw on the left side over there, in that it's, I'll just wait till I make this bend here. Boop. It's wide open, there will be a lot of NPC interaction, a lot of, you know, flat, easy to traverse, easy to see plains. And then we go off and see the village that we originally were interested in. Jump. It's kind of boring without all the fight sequences. So when walking over, I entertain myself by dodging the ferns. Pretty awesome at it, not gonna lie. Ways to improve, as long as I've got time to kill, I'll talk about that. If I could have a little bit more time with this project, obviously I would get a couple of those just filler NPC interactions, kind of like the Final Fantasy X style, where it just breaks the screen, just to sort of give the player an idea of what a final ship would be like. Definitely add some sounds in there, even if it's just like an ambient nature sound. I ran out of time to get it in for this pass. And I touch up a couple of the graphics a little bit. The cliff faces are difficult to work with because it's one extremely long face. So I would put something in there to make it look a little bit more accurate. And here we are at the end of the village. This would be a major hub. Tons of NPC interaction, tons of quest lines, tons of reason to come here and retraverse here. So yeah, the flow is of the level's pretty easy, and again, it's long and it's meticulous in this build, but that's because we don't have any of the RPG elements in. So yeah, that's the exterior level.